Hi everybody, it's Nell with Little Yellow House Crafts. I am finally back to catch you all up on life and stitching in general, and just here at the beginning I wanted to take an opportunity to introduce you to the newest member of our family. This is James. Can you say hi? This is James. Sometimes we call him Jamie or Baby Jamie. His brothers like to call him Baby Jamie. He is 7 weeks old. He turned 7 weeks yesterday, and he is my easiest baby so far. He's our third little boy, and he is just mellow and easygoing. As you can see, he's in a good mood right now. He just slept and ate and had a good poop, and now he's feeling pretty good about life. But this is our sweet boy. He's a big boy. He was 8 pounds, 13 ounces when he was born, which is actually my smallest baby. I have big babies, and he's just a sweetheart. We love him to death. Let's see if I can make him smile. He's just started smiling the last week and a half. Jamie. 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 No smiles. Well, what are you gonna do? But we're doing great. My recovery has been really easy, and it's been nice. Oh, I know. It's been nice having Daddy home, and I'll talk a little bit more about that after this little part of the video. But I just wanted to take a moment to introduce you all to my sweetest little boy who we just love. And I'm going to get him ready to go down for a nap here, and then I'll be back with the regular cross-stitch update. Okay, guys? Oh, are you going to talk? Are you going to talk to us? Are you going to talk to us? No? Sounds like he might be working on some more diaper situation. I know, I'm a little obsessed, but I am his mommy. So I should be, right? All right, guys, hang tight, and I'll be right back with my regular cross-stitch update. Hey guys, I'm back. Thanks for being patient. This video might be a little bit piecemeal if baby wakes up and needs me to feed him, or something comes up, so just bear with me. But so yeah, that was baby Jamie, and we love him desperately. What else has happened in the last 2 months? My husband graduated from medical school. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw I posted some of those pictures. That was a really wonderful, exciting day. So he is officially a doctor. He's an MD. He starts his residency in July. We are staying here for residency, which is nice. We didn't have to move. He matched here to the university hospital here, and he will be doing pathology as his specialty. So that's a 4-year residency. We're here for 4 more years, and we're thrilled. We're really excited, and I'm super, super proud of him. Med school, man, that's a hard road to choose, especially when you're a family man. He had 3 children, all born during medical school, and that was by choice. We knew we wanted to have a family and start having it now, and he made it work. He is just a wonderful, wonderful man, and I'm very fortunate. So he graduated, and that was exciting. And it's summertime. School is out here in Missouri. School ended, and we're just trying to enjoy the late spring, early summer time period where it's still not insanely hot and humid quite yet, although it is getting there. So let's talk about stitching. I know you're probably all 100% floored, shocked, cannot believe it's true. I have 2 FFOs. I never have fully finished items. I think in the entire time I've been making YouTube videos about cross stitch, I've had two FFOs in the 3 years I've been doing this now. The first one was my son Henry's stocking, and I made a video about how to finish a stocking, so that was an FFO. And then I fully finished a small biscornu for a Christmas gift swap that I did a couple years ago, and those are the only 2 things I've ever finished, fully finished, since I've been making cross-stitch videos. But I have 2 FFOs. One I did not do myself. I had professionally done. And the other one I did myself. So here we go. Without further ado, I'm so thrilled to show this to you guys. You'll remember I finished this shortly before Christmas. And my parents' Christmas gift to me was money so that I could get something framed. And I had 'Twas the Night framed. And it is so completely gorgeous. I'm obsessed. Oh, look at it. Try and get the whole thing back. There it is. Sorry about that. There it is in all its glory. Gold frame. It needed something ornate and gold and Christmassy. And then a red mat, sorry for the glare, a red mat, and then it's a double mat. The first layer is a gold and then red. And you can really see the sparkle in the fabric. I mean, this thing is just beautiful. And I'm a little bit sad that I can't hang that in my house all year. And my husband asked me, well, why not? You can hang it in the house all year. You know, that's an expensive thing to get framed. But I kind of want to keep it special. I think because it's so beautiful, I really want to look forward to getting to pull that out every year. Do you know what I mean? I want to be excited to get to decorate my house and pull out my beautiful cross-stitch piece. So that was 'Twas the Night, which I had framed. I actually dropped off 2 more things to be framed. What am I doing? And that is because I'm going to enter some pieces in our state fair this summer. So that is definitely one that will be entered in the state fair. And there will be lots more FFOs coming in the next few months while I prepare for that. The state fair here in Missouri is in August. So I've got a few months. The next FFO, I'm so proud of this. This is a finish inspired by Vanna Pfeiffer, who you all know I'm a little bit of a fangirl of Vanna's. This is my first time attempting to finish something myself, not in a traditional like framing situation or like a wall hanging. This is my first time trying to do, you know, some mat board and some batting and make a thing. So this is what I made. I finished these earlier this year, and these are the Little House Needleworks chart pack charts. The Land of the Free, Home of the Brave, and Long May She Wave. And you'll remember I changed the colors. I was inspired by my memories of my great-grandmother and her farmhouse and the tablecloth she had on the table in her kitchen that was made of a feed sack material. Those were really common in the 30s and 40s. And so I went on Etsy and found some vintage feed sack material that wasn't exactly the same but was close, and I went ahead and finished these. And I'm really, really proud of it. So that's it. They are connected by this ribbon. So they do hang freely, but they are connected. And there's just a little ribbon loop at the top to hang them. So you can see there's the vintage feed sack material that's in the colors, you know, that I was inspired by. And then, so what I did is I mounted my stitching on a piece of mat board that I cut to size with some quilt batting underneath it to give it a little bit of cush and to help it stand out a little bit. And then I put some of this white crocheted lace around the edge because I thought it needed just a little bit of an accent. Sorry if you can hear my baby crying. I might have to go get him in a minute if he doesn't calm back down. And then mounted that on this mat board that I put the vintage fabric on. And then just to finish it and give it, you know, a little something extra, I put the ribbon in between to connect the 3 pieces and the little red bows. And I love this. I think this is so pretty. I have the perfect spot in my home to hang this. In our hallway, there's a space between this office room door and the baby's nursery door that is just wider than this. It's about yay wide, and this will hang just in that little spot so I can see it every day. And I love it. I think it turned out beautifully. I mean, it's not perfect, not by far. I would love to know, Vanna, how you get your corners sharp when you're covering mat board with fabric, because that was a struggle trying to get those corners sharp, and I just gave up. Like, some of them are pretty bad. Look at that one. Some of them are really just not very sharp, and you know, the back is not finished. It's just glued on the mat board. I should probably try to finish the back somehow, but it's not perfect, but it's mine, and I did it myself, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's so pretty. And so that is my second FFO, which I could count this as 3 FFOs because I counted all 3 of those charts as separate finishes, but no, this is 1 FFO. They're all connected. So that is that. I have not decided yet if this one will be entered in the state fair. It's not, the craftsmanship on, you know, these pieces is not the best. And so I don't know. I'm going to practice on some more pieces and try to finish a whole bunch of things and then decide on what I'm actually going to enter in the fair. But this could possibly be a contention to enter. It's not perfect, but it's really beautiful, and I think it turned out great. So those are my 2 FFOs. Really, really pleased with both of those. I think they both turned out beautifully. That frame job is gorgeous. I did stretch and pin and lace the 'Twas the Night piece myself because I'm a little obsessive about that. So I just went in, had them take all the measurements and order the frame. They cut my acid-free foam core for me. I took that home, laced it myself, and then when they got the frame in, they called me to let me know, and I brought it back in, and they assembled the frame job for me. So if you're nervous about having something professionally framed, because you're like me, that is always an option. You can stretch and lace it yourself and then bring it back and have them assemble it. Okay, well, my baby appears to want to nurse, so I'm gonna go take care of him. If I have time this evening, I may come back and film some more. If not, I will be back tomorrow to show you. I do have some more finished objects. I have finished, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more things. They're all small finishes, but I do have 7 more finishes. They just aren't FFO'd. And then lots and lots of whips because Stitch Mania. And I have some stash. So I will be back hopefully later today. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm back. If you can hear him fussing, pay no mind. My husband is with him, but he's nursed and should be full and happy. Okay, so my finishes. First one, I showed this in my last video, which was now almost 2 months ago, or over 2 months ago, and I had it started, and all I had was the bunny, but I finished April. This is my Joyful World Sal monthly series, and this is April. I did change all the colors. I don't have them pulled out anymore. They've long since been put away, but I did a mixture of various over dyes and my Victorian Mono threads. I did change the grass to be little eyelet stitches. That was, they did that in the, she did that, the designer did that in the January block, and I really liked it, and I felt like doing some specialty stitches, so I just changed the 3 rows of cross stitches into Algerian eyelets. And that is April. So cute. So, so cute. So that was finish number 1, and I don't even know where to put things. How about right there? I have so much stuff to show you guys. It's not even funny. That was finished before baby was born. These were also finished before baby was born. And these are, I believe last time I showed you this, I had 1 of these eggs done. These are the Folk Eggs by Prairie Schooler. And I think, like I said, I think the last time I showed you, I had this one done, and I had just started on the barn with the goats. I have now 4 of these finished. So here's the bunny that you've already seen with the purple flowers instead of the red. And there is my goat one with the barn. And that is done. I also changed the grapes to be purple. They were originally red, but they're grapes, and it makes more sense for them to be purple. So that is number 1 and number 2. And then number 3 and number 4, we have a very prim, sampler-esque set of chickens and birds and a beehive one. I really like the beehive I think it's really pretty. This one I also added in some purple. These center flowers on each of the 4 sides was originally charted to be this light pink color in the head of the chicken there, or rooster, or what, peacock, or whatever the heck that is. I think it might be a peacock. Anyway, they were originally supposed to be pink. I made them purple, and I think it looks really pretty. This one I didn't change any of the colors. That one's as charted. So now I have 4 of the 8 of these done. I'm halfway through this chart. I've also already finished with all 8 of the vintage eggs, so we're getting close. I'm putting that one away. I don't think I'm going to keep working on that one for now, but we're getting there, and when they're all done, I will be fully finishing them into little egg ornaments for my Easter tree. So that is 4 more finishes. One of them was already done, so we'll say 3 more finishes. Next, I have my May Cottage from Country Cottage Needleworks, Cottages of the Month. And I posted about this one on Instagram, and you guys were super sweet. I did a pretty major color conversion on this one for 2 reasons. First of all, this is a blue house, kind of an aqua blue. Okay, there are a lot of blue houses in this series. January is blue, May is blue, July is blue, and August is blue. Some of them are more aqua, some of them are more blue, but there's 4 blue houses in, you know, there's 12 houses and a third of them are blue, and that seemed kind of silly to me. I wanted more color than that. And so I thought, well, let's change up May. I wasn't particularly fond of the aqua blue house with the pink border. I just thought that was a little too cutesy, and I was trying to decide what color house I wanted to make it, and I was like, all right, well, what color house is not in this series? And I realized yellow. She didn't have a yellow house in the series. My channel name is Little Yellow House Crafts. So I did a major color conversion, and I made the May house yellow. And I love this. I think this is so cute. It might be cuter than the original. You didn't hear that from me though. Nikki, you're a brilliant designer. I just really like it in the yellow. So you can see I changed it to a yellow striped house as opposed to a blue striped house. And I changed the window frames and the door frame to blue instead of pink. And I will show you the colors I used. Everything else is, the colors are as charted except that I swapped the colors out for my own threads. But they are like, you know, the birdhouse was pink, it's still pink. The bluebird was blue, it's still blue. I didn't change any other colors, but I did choose my own threads for those colors. Does that make sense? I think so. Anyway, that's my yellow house for May, and I will show you the colors I used. I still have them. I have not put them away yet. So once again, as always, these are a mixture of Victorian Mono threads and various other over dyes, and then white DMC. So let's do the house first. The house I stitched in 2 shades of yellow because it's stripy. These are both from Victorian Mono. This one is Traditional Sunflower, which was a free gift that Nancy threw in when I ordered something from her, because she does that all the time. And then this is Yellow Stargrass, which I've used before. So those 2 look really good together. And that was the color of the house and everything else in the picture that's yellow, including the title May. The blue I used in the house and the bluebird and some of the blue flowers is It's Berry Blue. I've used this one before. It's a great, lots of phone notifications today. For the brown in the trees and the border, I used Gentle Art Simply Shaker Sarsaparilla, which is just a nice warm hazelnutty brown. And then the green in the trees and the grass and the leaves of the flowers, I used Gentle Art's Spring Grass. And these 2, you'll see, come from part of my stash acquisition. And I'll talk about that. And then the last 3 colors, I used just some DMC white. For the black, which there's not a lot, there's black in the bumblebees, which aren't those just the cutest thing you ever saw in your life. Black in the bees, and then, you know, the beehive and the birdhouse. And for that, I used Classic Colorworks Blackbird. washing out. There we go. Blackbird. And the pink for the flowers in the birdhouse, I used Weeks Dye Works Bubblegum. So it's very bright, very cheerful, very springy. I absolutely love it. I think everyone should stitch May as a little yellow house because it's adorable. And I'm really, really happy with how that turned out. So that was finish number 5. And believe it or not, I have 2 more. And these are, that May Cottage was one of my Stitch Mania starts. So that was started before, no, excuse me, that was started after baby was born, and I have since finished it. This one, I cannot believe I haven't shown you this yet. I finished the first one of these in March, way before baby was born, and I just forgot to show it in a video. I started, if you follow me on Instagram, you know this, but I started the Little House Needleworks Early Americans series, and I finished Betsy Ross, like in March. But I also started and finished John Hancock before baby was born. So those are 2 more finishes that I have not shown you yet, nor have I shown you this piece since I started working on it. I am stitching this on 32 count Wren linen, Belfast linen by Picture This Plus. And I'm using the border chart that Vonna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, created and is giving away for free because she's an angel. And here's the first 2, Betsy Ross and John Hancock. And you can see the cute border with the bunting and the stars on the top, and then the stars going down the sides with the red and blue dots. So those are the first 2. That's finish 5 and 6. So there they are. And you can tell they don't look exactly like the models because I changed the colors up. I wanted them a little bit brighter and a little less primitive looking because that's just my style. I like color and I like kind of bright, vibrant, happy color. And so I'm just going to show you the threads. Some of these are Victorian Mono threads, and some of them are the called for threads. So I have here on this floss ring all of the threads that I'm using that were part of the called for threads because I didn't have good replacements for them. So these are all classic Colorworks, and I have Muddy Puddle, what is that? Sun-Kissed, English Ivy, Mossy, and Hickory Sticks. Priscilla, it's Hickory Sticks. So those were called for threads, and I'm using those. Everything else, though, I have replaced with one of my Victorian Mono threads because I love using them and because I wanted to brighten the colors up a little bit. So here they are. Aren't they pretty? So the red, blue, and gold in particular are much more vibrant than the colors that were called for because she designed it in a more primitive color scheme and I'm brightening them up. But just really quickly, I'm using Chestnut Hues, Admiral Blue is the blue I'm using, Dark Chestnut, it's another brown, Maple Cream Fudge, oh, that sounds delicious, Merry Old Red is the red I'm using, Antique Gold, Antique Stripes is the white kind of ecru color I'm using, and then Flagpole Brown. So those are the Victorian Mono threads that I'm using with the Classic Colorworks to stitch this piece. And please bear with me while I put these all away because otherwise it's just going to be a catastrophe in here. You have no idea how much I have to show you. Actually, you can probably guess because Stitch Mania, hello. So those are the threads I'm using, and those are the last 2 finishes I have to show you. I have no immediate plans to get back to this whip. The next one that I stitch will be Martha Washington, but we'll see when I get the hankering to stitch on that again, but I have a really good start on it. There's only 9 charts in this series, so I am almost a third of the way done. One more chart and I'll be a third of the way finished. I'll fold that up and no, I need to do this now. Sorry. Just bear with me. How are you guys? talk amongst yourselves. I can't tell how I folded this. Oh, there we go. Talk amongst yourselves. I hope you're all having fun with Stitch Mania. You may be done already because today is the 23rd. So if you were doing 15 or 18 starts or something, you're done. If you're still going strong, go you. So there you go. Those are all of my finishes. 2 FFOs, 6 small finishes. Not too shabby considering I just had a baby. It has been like almost 2.5 months though since I last filmed. Okay, next thing to show you, Maynia. If you have been following me on Instagram, you've seen some of these. Not all of them because I haven't been very consistent about posting every time I start one. But we're just going to go through. There's going to be lots of opening and closing of bags here, guys. So if you hate that, sorry. I don't mind it myself. And these are in no particular order. These are not in the order I started them. I just grabbed them all. So first we have Lizzy Kate, Let Them Be Small. And I am stitching this on 32 count Legacy Belfast linen from Picture This Plus. And I am using a whole bunch of my Dinky Dyes silks. I got a couple of those Dinky Dyes grab bag packs that they sell on Etsy. And I'm using some of them because why have threads if you're not going to use them? So almost all of them are Dinky Dyes silks. I'm using Dinky Dyes Pacific Ocean, Alligator, Lost Gold, Mud Flats, this red, Pilbara, I think, and Cobar. It's a darker gold. And then I didn't have a good silk for the ivory kind of color, ecru color, so I'm using a classic Colorworks cotton in antique lace for that. I am a little nervous I'm not going to have enough mud flats to finish this thing, but if I don't, then I will just stitch the last few words in a different color because there's already words with different colors. You're probably like, what? All of the words, here we go. I cut this down. This was a fat, I bought a fat quarter, but I cut it down to a fat eighth because that's all I needed for the Legacy. But you can see most of the words are stitched in this mud flats color. But there are little words here and there stitched in blue and nope, just in blue, which was Pacific Ocean, I think. And I'm a little worried I'm not going to have enough of the mud flats color, but I've already decided if I get down and I'm almost out of thread of the mud flats, when I get down to it will be over before you know it, I will change that and stitch that in red, like to emphasize the end. It will be over before you know it. Does that make sense? If I run out of mud flats, I have a backup plan. But I like that I'm using my Dinky Dyes silks. I really like stitching with the Dinky Dyes silks. They're very, very nice to stitch with, and the variegation is beautiful and fairly subtle, which is how I like it. Some Dinky Dyes have very wild variegations. Obviously, the ones I chose are all fairly subtle because, you know, that's the way Nell rolls. She has trouble stitching on this kind of fabric. I'm not going to be stitching in crazy colors. So there you go. That was my start on Let Them Be Small. And that was one of my Stitch Mania starts. I have 10 Stitch Mania starts, I think. Or I had. I'm done. I'm done with Stitch Mania. So that was the first one. This one is Brave Hearts by Little House Needleworks. Stitching this in classic Colorworks cottons, some of which are the called for threads and some of which I switched because I didn't have the called for classic Colorworks, but I had other ones that would work. So, really quickly, Brave Hearts. I'm using bamboo, blue corn, cocoa bean, bandana. This is a fabulous dark red. I love that. Straw hat, and desert mesquite. I'm stitching it on 32 count linen in the color Summer Khaki, and it's very wrinkled because I haven't ironed it yet. And that's as far as I got. I got the flag, and this is the roof of the house. It's like a checkerboard roof. I'll show you. There you go. And I love it. The model in the picture is stitched with Belsois silks, Belsois silks, also by Classic Colorworks, but I'm using cottons because that's what I had. Gotta use your stash, right? Let me grab those threads. Sorry, you have to wait for me to put stuff away because chaos. So many things for Maynia. Okay, that was start number 2 for Maynia. Start number 3, June by the Prairie Schooler. Just stitching this in the called for DMC, not changing a darn thing. I have 2 of these months done already, April and November, so I thought, well, let's start another one. So I started June, and this is all I have. The house. I didn't get to stitch very much that day, but not too shabby. And this is stitched on a 32 count Belfast linen in ivory, I believe. I'm stitching all of these month Prairie Schoolers on either ivory or white Belfast linen. Just whatever color makes the most sense with the colors in that particular chart. So that is that. Oops, sorry, showing chart. That was start number 3. Start number 4. I started my 3rd, also by the Prairie Schooler, my 3rd Halloween mini chart. I have 2 of these completed already. And I started the 3rd one, which is Night Flight. Oh, and I have the other one in here too. And I got the top border almost done. 13, 31, and the fence posts or whatever these are. I don't know if these are supposed to be like gravestones and they're upside down because, you know, it's the top of the chart, or if they're just fence posts. They look more like fence posts to me. So I'm stitching these on 25 count ivory or cream Lugana. I can't remember if it's ivory or cream. It's a Lugana and it's a 25 count. So I'm stitching these 3 strands over 2 with the DMC, and this is 3371, which is the predominant color. I also have in this bag the last piece of fabric and the last chart, which is double. And when all 4 of them are finished, I will be putting them all together in one fully finished thing. And I'm not quite sure yet how that'll be. It may be a wall hanging that I'll quilt, but I'm not positive. But I have Knock Knock and Who's There already done, and I started Night Flight. So that was Maynia start number 4. Maynia start number 5. Battle Hymn of the Republic by Little House Needleworks. I have a thing about Little House Needleworks. I have more of her charts than just about any other kind of chart in my stash. And I love her patriotic pieces. So this is Battle Hymn of the Republic. I am stitching this in the DMC. Yep, it's the calls for DMC, and I'm stitching it in the DMC. And I have the center part. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord, and then trampling out. That's what I have done. This is a piece of 32 count Belfast linen in, did I save it? I didn't save it. I think this is antique ivory, I believe. It's an antique something. It's not modeled. It's not one of their vintage Zweigart fabrics, but the color I think is antique ivory. So it's a little bit more of a tan than an ivory color, if that makes sense. I don't know. So that's that one. That stitches really quickly because it's mostly words, so that one might be done sooner than I might suspect. That was number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Number 6. This was actually the very first one I started on May 1st to kick off my Maynia. And this is Little House Needleworks. Again, Little House Needleworks. My Sheep. I love this. It is so cute. And I'm stitching this. You can see how long and narrow it is. I had this piece sitting in my stash for years that I cut off another piece of Zweigart 32 count Belfast linen in the color Dirty. And it was just long and skinny. Hello, perfect size for this. So this is what I have done. 2 trees, some fence, and some grass, and a tiny bit of brown border down there. And I am stitching this in some of the called for colors and a lot of alternate colors. And I will show you what they are, because I always think it's interesting when I like seeing what people are stitching things in. So if you hate people showing threads, I'm so sorry. Classic Colorworks Eggshell. Classic Colorworks Ye Old Gold. Classic Colorworks Manor Red. Another nice dark red. Pea Pod. Bean Sprout. And Avocado. So there's 3 greens. All 3 of them are Classic Colorworks, and they're all kind of in a similar family in that piece. And then I'm using Classic Colorworks Hickory Sticks and Roasted Chestnut, which are not on bobbins, but. And then the last one is one of my Victorian Mono threads, Sunshine Glory, and it's a pretty kind of antique yellow. So that's what I'm using for my sheep. And got a fairly decent start. Oh, there you go. Got a fairly decent start again. That was the first day of Maynia, and I couldn't start it until the evening because, you know, hashtag newborn baby. But still, not too shabby of a start, in my opinion. I don't know what number that was. I think that's 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that was 7. Start number 8. Little House Needleworks. Diane. This is, what is this called? Heart of America. This was a special limited edition release in 2008. I bought it from someone on Stash Unload, including all of the threads and the buttons and the chart. So I'm not going to show you the threads because they are all the called for threads. They're all Classic Colorworks. Antique Lace, Roasted Chestnut, Old Blue Jeans, Blackbird, Brandied Pears, English Ivy, Red Currant, Wild Berries, Ye Old Gold, and Bean Sprout. So I'm not going to show you. But I do have all the little buttons by Just Another Button Company waiting. A blackbird, a sheep, an acorn, and some stars. And I am stitching this on a 32 count piece of Belfast linen by Zweigart because that's my favorite. And this is in Summer Khaki. And this was originally a Maynia start from 2 years ago that I gave up on, the Rose Garden from a magazine, an old magazine. I ripped out the stitching and I'm putting this on there. And this is what I have. Liberty, which is the center block of this piece. So that'll be the top of the whole piece and it'll come out to about here. It fits just about perfectly on a fat 1/8. This is a fat 1/8 of fabric, with some border fabric stitched around it because I was stitching my original Stitch Maynia start, the Rose Garden, I was stitching on Q-snaps and I needed a little more border fabric, so I stitched that on. But I don't know if I'll need it for this one because I may decide to put this on my roll-a-frame, in which case I'll probably cut off that extra fabric I stitched onto the sides, but we haven't gotten there yet. So since I was just stitching on it for 1 day, I just put it on my Q-snaps for Stitch Maynia. But when I do sit down to put more serious work in this, I will probably put it on a roll-a-frame. And you can see it was the Rose Garden by Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. It is no longer that because I just didn't want to work on that anymore. Here's one you haven't seen yet, even if you follow me on Instagram, because I didn't post about this, but I did start Glendon Place Eggs All Around. And I love this. I'm kind of sad Easter's already over, but now I have a chance to put some more work into it. I doubt it will be done by next Easter. But I did finally find the right color green, and I don't even have it with me. I finally found the green I wanted to use for all of the leaf stuff. And it's a Victorian Mono sampler thread that came, I believe, in my March limited edition threads that she sent, and it's the perfect green. Yay, I have a green, and that's as far as I got. It's just one of those little leafy things. And you can see there's some subtle variegation in the green. It's not a strong variegation, but that's how I prefer things. And it's really pretty. I'm stitching this on 28 count Monaco, cotton Monaco, from Hobby Lobby, I believe, in ivory. and it's the perfect color, perfect size. I will be stitching, I haven't yet decided if I'm going to stitch all of these eggs in the called for DMC colors, or if I might try to swap in some of my overdyed cottons, because I have a lot. And I think use your threads, right? Use what you've got. That was start number 9. My last start from Maynia, I don't have a picture to show you because it's an online chart, and that is the May installment of my Snowflower Diaries Joyful World Sal, and it's currently on a roller frame, and it is the little kitties. They're so cute. So this is May. It's got kitties and it's got some flowers and things, and then the typical border. It's the way all of them are. And so I have started this. This was my last Maynia start number 10, and that's as far as I've gotten. As I have done for all of these charts, I am swapping out the threads for my own choices. And I will just, should I show those to you now, or should I wait until it's done? Whatever, I'll show them to you now because I have them here. Because odds are I'm going to finish this really soon, and then I'm going to want to put all of these threads away so I can use them for other things, which means I won't have them next time I make a video. So let's just show you what I'm using. Okay. Classic Colorworks Pebble Beach, DMC B5200 for the white, Gentle Arts Silver Fern, Gentle Arts Butternut Squash, Weeks Dye Works Mascara for the black, Weeks Dye Works Mocha, and then the rest of these, I have 4 more, and these are all Victorian Mono threads, and I haven't used any of them yet, so they're still all pretty and perfect the way they come with the little white tie around them. So we have Dried Grapevines, New Evergreen, sorry my nose itches, Floss Tube Itchy Nose, Southern Red Trillium, love this color. It's like this deep kind of antique-y burgundy. Oh, it's so pretty. And then the peach is Tahitian Floral, which I believe was one of the limited edition threads in either March or April. Can't remember. So those are the Victorian Mono threads I'm using in conjunction with those other overdyes for May of the Joyful World Sal. Sorry if the table shakes. You're on an ironing board and they're not incredibly sturdy. What are you gonna do? So that is my Maynia. 10 starts. I did not do 10 starts in 10 days because I had a baby. I had a new baby. So I just did 10 starts whenever I could get them in, basically. It's now the 22nd, 23rd. I can't remember what I said. So I averaged maybe 1 start every other day. I never started more than 1 thing in one day, but there were days where I did, or there were, periods where I did 3 starts in 3 days and then didn't start anything for 4 days, And that's how I wanted to do Maynia. I knew that was all I was going to be able to do with a new baby. And I'm really pleased that I was able to do Maynia at all, frankly. I'm just thrilled that I got to participate. So, with Stitch Maynia and all of those finishes, there was only one other whip that I worked on at all in the last 2.5 months. And I know you're probably like, she worked on something else too? My goodness. I did. Partly because Jamie was born, I pulled his stocking out and put a tiny bit more work into this. When I started this back in January or February, all I did was a little bit of the frame of the house, some of the golds and browns and reds in the windows and door, and then the front porch stuff. It was all golds and browns and reds. That is all I had done. I pulled this back out, put it on a roller frame, which I like much better when stitching on this crunchy Aida. It's much nicer to work on crunchy kit Aida on a scroll frame than it is on a Q-snap. Let me just say that. And I put in some blue. And that's it. Still not very much done on that. And now that he's here, I should probably give that some more focused attention. But, it'll get done when it gets done. He will eventually have a stocking just like everyone else in our family. It may not be done by his first Christmas, and it may be done by his first Christmas. Who knows? But that is everything I've worked on in the last 2+ months since I spoke to you last. Yay! I was able to do some stitching. One thing I wanted to show you before I get to my stash is with the roller frames, I did decide to pull out my PVC lap frame and start using that again. And it is easier to stitch with scroll frames when you have a stand, a lap stand. Did I say a lap frame? A lap stand to set the frame on. But the way my lap stand was, it was set up to use as a Q-snap with clamps onto the actual PVC. And I wanted it to be more of a stand to hold my roller frames. So my husband and I kind of finagled with it, made some alterations, and made it work for a stand to hold a scroll frame. But it wasn't working great, and so I did some research, looked at a bunch of pictures of lap stands that people had made out of PVC, and we pulled apart the old one and used all the pieces, plus a few new little pieces, to recreate my lap stand. So, here it is. It has these two, I can't figure out the best way to show it to you, and it's not glued together, so everything's twisting around and kind of free flowing. It has these two long legs here with these little funky twisty bits at the end to kind of brace it. And then it has, oh, and it's gonna fall to pieces because it's not glued together. Then it has these arms that come down at an angle, you can see, and that's where I set my roller frame when I'm stitching on my scroll frame. And these are nice because these can rotate up higher, down lower, depending on the angle I want. The leg length right now is set to be used on a table. This is a table stand right now. It's the right height for me to stitch at a table. We also cut pieces and have another connector so that I can take this leg off and extend it taller to sit on my lap in my stitching chair. So it's really nice. It's adjustable and it fits my needs both at a table and in my stitching chair. I like that it, you know, these can rotate up and down depending on the angle that I want to stitch, and I can stitch two-handed again, which is just really, really nice when you're working with a scroll frame. It's nice to be able to stitch two-handed and not be bringing your hand around over and over again, because that really gets tiring for your shoulders. So I'm not going to give you detailed description of exactly how to make one of these yourself. Sorry. I don't even really know. My husband did most of it, and I'm not going to take it all apart and measure everything for you and tell you exactly what parts you need. But just know, you can Google PVC, you know, needlework lap stand and find all different ideas. I know there's lots of floss tubers who've made them, and it works great. For right now, it's exactly what I need. Someday I may get fancy and buy myself the roller frame lap stand or an Elon lap stand or something like that. Or, you know, get really crazy and get a Kay's Creation stand. Those things are expensive. But for right now, this works really well. It works great, and I have no complaints. And I like that I can stitch two-handed again. Okay, last but not least, this is going to be a long video. Stash. I do have stash. And it's a normal amount, I would say. First thing, do you guys remember when I bought this way back in December after Christmas? I bought this, the Heritage Sampler by Plum Street. Still love this thing, totally obsessed with it, excited to start it someday. I also ordered the called for fabric from 123 Stitch in December. In December. It's now almost June. And my fabric finally came. It's not their fault. They did not have the fabric in stock, and they were waiting and waiting and waiting. And of course, you're not going to be surprised, but it's a lakeside linen, which, you know, they are, I shouldn't say notorious, but sometimes their fabrics can be hard to get because they dye them all, you know, hand dyed, and everyone loves lakeside linen, so sometimes it can be hard to get things back in stock. So they literally just got this back in stock, contacted me, and sent it to me. So almost 6 months after I ordered it, I finally have the called for fabric, which is a 36 count vintage exemplar linen by Lakeside Linens, and it's a fat quarter. It's darker and more red than I anticipated. You can see there, and that's a fairly good, I say it's not quite as reddy pink as it's showing up there in this lighting, but it's a lot redder than I was expecting. and darker. So I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. I have some other options that I may explore for stitching this piece, or I may just go ahead and use it because it does have this beautiful dark red in it, and it might look really pretty on the vintage exemplar. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not going to take it out of the plastic, sorry. Should I go for it and stitch it on the called for fabric that I've been waiting 6 months for? Or should I use something else and throw this in my stash and use it for something else? Opinions, please. So that's the first part of my stash. Something I ordered almost 6 months ago. This next set of things came from a stash unload site on Facebook, as a lot of my shopping does, because you can get great deals there if you're quick and you pay attention. Haven't been spending as much time on those sites as I did before I had the baby because I just don't have time. And frankly, all I was doing before I had the baby was shopping because stress. But I bought the Anniversaries of the Heart series by Blackbird Designs, all 12 of them. There was a lady selling all 12, and they're beautiful. I haven't yet decided if I'm going to stitch these all in one piece or if I'm going to stitch them individually. I don't know. But we have Snow Garden, Valentine Rose. These are in order too. A Wish for You, and they are sort of monthly series. You guys know I am obsessed with monthly series. Pink Hill Manor, I love that one. That's one of my favorites. Farmhouse, Happy Birthday. Can't read all of these backwards. Swan Lake, that's really pretty too. Me being a ballerina, I really like that one. Clara Ellen, beautiful. I mean, these are gorgeous charts just on their own. This one I just love. Moonlight Visitor. This is my favorite one. Pumpkin Farm, or is that my favorite? Yes, that's my favorite one of the whole series. The orange house and the pumpkin. Evergreen Lane. And Elizabeth Jane is the Christmas one. I love the Christmas tree. So that's Anniversaries of the Heart by Blackbird Designs. Love them. Think they're gorgeous. Not sure yet how I'm going to stitch those, either all in one piece or separately. We shall see. I also found some more Lizzy Kates. Because, you know, Lizzy Kates. Gotta get them while they're hot, right? And someone was selling the series of Christmas Rules. That is what the whole thing looks like together, which is how I will be stitching it. I don't think I will go through and show you all of them because you've probably seen them a million times. I know Priscilla has stitched these. I think Chelsea has either stitched them or has started them. Lots of people have stitched them. They're beautiful and adorable. I have the free bonus chart to do the little thing at the top. This little Christmas Rules topper. And right now I have it kitted up with a piece of 32 count Belfast linen in natural raw for my stash, but I don't know. I think this could look really cute. I like the natural raw color, but there's this little part of me that maybe wants to do an opalescent. The natural raw that has the sparkle in it because it's a Christmas series. I don't know. Again, tell me your thoughts. Should I just use the regular natural raw Belfast linen, or should I go with the sparkly natural raw Belfast linen? Similar to what I used for my 'Twas the Night. That one I did on the natural raw with a gold fleck. What do you think? Last but not least, oh, this is the last set of charts, but I do have a little more stash. Another Lizzy Kate set, and these are the monthly blocks. I have a serious addiction to monthly series right now. I don't know what my deal is, but I just cannot get enough. And these are the Flip It Blocks with Charm by Lizzy Kate. So they're this way. So here's January, February, March, April, love that. May, June, also really like this one. Like the colors in that. July, August, September, October, November, December. And these all come, I'm not going to show you the chart. These all come with a little charm that goes with each month. So that was December, and it's a little dove. They're all little brass charms, and they're super, super cute. I already know how I will finish these. I'm going to I'm going to finish these as no-sew cubes. Since they're little blocks, little squares, I think having it in little block is a cute idea. So I will finish these as no-sew cubes. I have fabric for my stash pulled. It's just white linen because these all have like solid stitching in the background of them. I'm just going to stitch them on white. And I have 25 count Dublin linen in white, and I have enough of this for all 12. I'm not sure yet, since it's 25 count. I'm not sure if I'll stitch them 3/2 or 2/2. We shall see when the time comes. I'll probably try 2/2 first, and if you can see too much of the fabric through and I'm not happy with the coverage, then I'll go up to 3. And I know I like 3/2 coverage on 25 count because that's what I'm doing with my Prairie Schooler Halloween minis. So those are all the charts. The Anniversaries of the Heart series, the Christmas Rules, and the Lizzy Kate monthly block with charm series. Last but not least is threads. And I'm not going to pull these all out to show you because we would be here all day because there's literally hundreds. There was someone selling a whole bunch of over-dyed threads, brand new, on a stash unloading site on Facebook for very, very cheap. All said, I think I paid approximately $1 a skein, maybe even less than that. 80 cents a skein. And it was all Gentle Arts. They were all Gentle Arts threads. I got a lot of them and put them in this thing with all of my Victorian Mono threads. And you can see there's some classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works in there that was from my personal stash, but lots of Gentle Arts threads. And so my box of overdyed threads is bordering on the absurd now. This one's sticking up. I love it. Every time I start a new chart, I look at what the called for threads are, and then I come to this. And I choose my own colors because I like doing that. And this just makes me so happy. This is just like joy in a plastic tote. I just love it. So that was the last part of my stash. I've got to go, guys. I've got little kids that need me. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being patient until I could come back and film another video. I hope that it won't be another 2.5 months till I see you. Hopefully I'll be able to film again next month sometime. But in the meantime, take care, thank you, and happy stitching to you all. Bye, guys.